So if you've ever wanted to see me lose money, today might be your lucky day. I'm going to show you what I have in front of me, and then we'll explain what's going on. You can see we have 3 little baggies. Each one of these has a 1-ounce silver eagle and a 1-ounce silver buffalo in it. I also have this baggie here with a 1-ounce silver Engelhart prospector, and we have 2 10-ounce silver bars, 1 buffalo bar and 1 fleur-de-lis bar. Now what I'm going to be doing with these today is driving around to different pawn shops and seeing what they'll pay for them, and I'm even going to sell at least 1 eagle and 1 silver round. So I am definitely going to be losing some money today. Well, I guess I can't say definitely, but 99% chance I'm going to be losing some money today. And if I get a good offer, maybe I'll sell even more. But my goal is to go into the pawn shops. We'll get some pictures from inside so you can see what they're actually going to pay me for my silver. Can we actually get spot from pawn shops? I doubt it, but let's find out. My channel is sponsored by sdbullion.com. New customers can get their first order of gold or silver at spot by going to sdbullion.com/new. So our first pawn shop was pretty typical of pawn shops. We had a lot of guns. We had DVDs everywhere. We had knickknacks all over the place. We had weird, interesting collectible stuff and a few coins, not a whole lot. Now this pawn shop, when I pulled up, actually had a sign on the door saying that they pay the most for gold and silver. Are they right? Well, let me tell you how it went. Well, our first shop is done, and I went ahead and sold, and I lost my rear. So you can see we sold a 2010 99 silver round, a 1-ounce silver Liberty 99 silver. He wrote it weird, but what I sold him was a 2010 silver eagle and a 1-ounce silver round, and I got 50 bucks. This is the exact 50 that they gave me. And here I folded it up so you can't see my personal info because it's on this this receipt in multiple places. But you can see that is what they gave me. And I folded it out so you can even see the purchase date, 4/30/24. So I just sold those for 50 bucks. Now spot price of silver right now is $26.34, $26.44 ask. That means that I sold these basically $1.50 back of spot per ounce. And that is what he offered me. He offered me 25. It didn't matter if it was an eagle or a buffalo. And honestly, hindsight being 2020, I should have just sold the buffalo so I didn't lose as much. But I just took a beating on our first pawn shop. I'm going to go to more. So let's do it. Let's go to pawn shop number 2 and see if we can get a little bit more than 25 a piece. I'll tell you what it is, regardless of whether or not I sell. Let's do it. All right, so our second pawn shop had a much bigger selection because it was a bigger store, but the first thing I gravitated towards was a showcase that actually had coins and silver. Granted, it was incredibly overpriced silver. For example, you can see they had Roosevelt dimes at $3.99 each. They had silver quarters at $9.99 each. For the record, that is $40 per dollar. I think our old friend Mike might actually be working at the shop. I don't know, but what really blew me away is these 2 Eisenhower dollars right here, which are priced at $34.99. Those are not even silver. They're just Eisenhower dollars. That one just didn't make any sense to me at all. They also had this tray full of 1-ounce silver bars, silver eagle, so on and so forth. They did not have prices on any of those, and since I was wanting to sell and not buy, I didn't ask. All right, so I just left the second shop. We were on our way to shop number 3. Really quick, I'll show you some overlays, some screenshots and stuff I got from inside the shop. But what I will tell you is that for the silver and for the silver eagle and the silver buffalo, they offered me 45 bucks total. Now, when I first gave it to him, he goes, I don't know, what are you trying to get? He says, what will make you sell, or what will allow you to sell them to me? And I said, I'm just looking for a fair offer. And then I said, I know spot today is around $26.40 or so. He goes, well, I'll tell you now, I'm not going to be able to give you spot. I have to make something on it. I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, which I get, you know, pawn shops are not coin shops. They're not, you know, they don't specialize in selling, so they may take them longer to sell. Even still, 45 bucks. He offered me 45 bucks. That's $22.50 an ounce. That is $4 back of spot. And he didn't offer me anything more for the eagle than the round, just like the last shop. So, yep. All right, so shop number 3, I barely got any images inside. They didn't have any coins on display. There was another guy there selling coins. There were a bunch of other customers, and it was really small. But the important thing about this shop is the story that I'm about to tell you after my interaction. Alrighty, so I got an interesting story. We just left the third pawn shop, and they actually refused this silver buffalo. It is, quote unquote, too shiny. The eagle they offered me 22 bucks on. Now, I'll tell you, they actually did test both of these. They were using, I couldn't tell what it was, but I assumed that it was a Sigma, the original Sigma. And the reason I say that is because I was listening to the conversation between him and another employee. And he told the other employee that this was testing as a silver eagle just fine, but not as a pure silver round. Well, silver eagles are 3/9 fine silver, just like this buffalo. They're not 4/9, so was he trying to test it as a maple? I have no idea. But either way, they refused the buffalo, and they tested. I mean, they had it for a few minutes. They had a conversation that was at least a minute long. I'm going to be honest, it was really uncomfortable, and it was a very, very busy shop. They had a lot of people in there. So anyway, they offered me $22 for the eagle, and they actually said that if I had a larger amount, they would offer me more. So I said, give me an example. And he said, if you had 20, like 100 of them, we could give you 24 a piece. And he did correctly quote spot at $26.50. So he said if I sold them 100 eagles, they would offer me $2.50 back a spot, basically. Anyway, needless to say, I am not selling a silver eagle for 22, even for the video. It's just not happening. And they refused my buffalo. Let's go to another shop. Let's just do a fourth one. Let's get it done. Here we go. Pawn shop number 4. If you're still watching this far in the video, thank you. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on more. All right, so the final shop didn't have a whole lot in the way of coins, and it was an absolute mess. This was probably the messiest one, but it did have a couple of things that caught my eye. For example, this 14 karat gold ring with a 1/10 ounce gold eagle in it, which I thought was really cool. And then I noticed these in the showcase, and well, let's go ahead and let the recap tell you what they are. All right, so we just left the 4th pawn shop, and this one was a little bit different. I didn't actually get a price, and the reason is that I was taking a look at these. So I went in, and before I even showed him what I had for sale, I saw these in a showcase, and he offered them to me for a really good price, but there was a small problem. Before we even got to talking about what I had to sell, I asked him how much, and he said they're 28 plus tax. Missouri doesn't tax gold and silver bullion in any form as long as it's pure. So yeah, they also don't tax US collectible coins, but he was charging tax on these. So I said, you know, Missouri doesn't tax silver. He goes, I don't want to fight with the city, which I totally get. The city thinks that they are better than they are. But I was not really looking forward to paying tax for these. So I pulled out my silver to sell to him. And he said, well, how about we just do a straight up trade, the eagle for one of those? And then he said, but I'm not really interested in the buffalo. I don't like the finish on it, and I don't have a way to test it. So that is the second shop that has turned away our buffalo because of the way it looked. The first shop actually tested it. Well, the third shop, but you know what I mean. The third pawn shop actually tested it. The fourth one had no way to test it. And by the way, he had no way to test these either. So we're gonna go and test these in the studio and hope that I didn't get completely ripped off. But he offered me a straight up trade, you know, didn't have to pay tax on the trade. So he offered me a straight up trade eagle for one of these. And I said, well, I actually have 2 eagles. Could we do 2? And he said, sure. I'm in. Let's do it. I mean, these are generic rounds. I mean, the back of them just has a blank engravable area, but they were really cool. They came in cool display cases, and, you know, $1.50 over spot, you know, is basically what I got for my eagles, and I was able to trade them for those. So I got a little bit less than for the eagles than I would have liked. If he would have been selling these for, you know, 28 without having to pay tax, I would have bought them outright. I would have kept my eagles, but I took them anyway. What the heck? Let's go test them. All right, so we have our Sigma ready to go. That's what we're going to use to test the 2 rounds that we picked up here. You see we got a king and a queen. If you play chess, these are pretty cool. I'm also going to test the buffalo because remember the one shop said that this wasn't testing. It was testing like a silver eagle, but not as pure silver. And if we look on silver pure, see we got metals. If we go to silver here, you can see there is actually an option for silver eagle. It says check size, so I'm assuming so you can or use the dimensions test. But we have it set, and let's go ahead and put it under here. We're just going to put our little bar down. And you can see it's testing as a silver eagle, but far off to the right. And let me show you, if we go to silver, we go to silver pure, and if we press it down, that same reading is going to show it in the yellow. So eagles aren't quite as pure as like maples with 4 9s, and that's why they read a little bit off, but we can do a dimensions test. So if we go to dimensions, we go to round, and we can just stick this right here, and you can see our buffalo is dead on line to line. I mean, it is spot on for the diameter that it's supposed to be. I know my buffalo's real. They questioned it. That's fine, whatever. It was just a coin shop probably would have taken that no problem. But let's go ahead and test our rounds that we got from the coin shop to make sure I didn't get ripped off. We're going to take both of these out. And these are 3/9 fine, so I expect them to test a little bit off onto the side, and I hope I didn't just break this little display thing, but we'll look at that later. All right, and it can test through the case, but we can't do a dimensions test through the case. I'm not too worried about that. I just want to make sure that it's reading where I expect it to. So here we go. Oh yeah, I mean, it's right on 1.71. I mean, that's, if you were to switch this out, just to show you, if you were to switch this out to Silver Eagle, it's going to be dead on in the green. See what I mean? Perfect. And we'll go ahead and do it to our other one. Yep. Actually, this one's reading a little bit better at 1.66. So these are all real, including the buffalo that the one shop turned away. Whatever, it is what it is. So there we go. And really quick, you're probably thinking right now, he did not tell us about the 10-ounce bars or the Engelhard Prospector. Sorry, we'll do another video in the future with those where I actually do give those to the pawn shops, but I actually did not today. I just did the Eagle and the round. And it was really hard to sell an Eagle and a round for 25 each when spot's 26.50. That was really tough. I'm not going to lie. And I was not going to sell it for even less. The other shops, well, shop 4, we don't actually know what he was going to pay me. But the shop 2 and 3 were offering me even less than 25 an ounce. It wasn't happening. I just couldn't do it. But I did sell 2 like I promised. So guys, if you like this video, thank you so much. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and help YouTube recommend this to others. I need people to watch it so I can get my money back. But I really do appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.